Alpha.
Omega.
Is there any connection between shamanism and the Golden Dawn? Robert asks.
That is a fantastic question.
Thought you'd like it.
Well, I do. And the reason why is, well, here we have coyote, and then over here is hawk, right? And then there's lion, and there's scarab beetle. Oh, well, let me change their names for you. Anubis, Horus, Sekhmet, Kefra.
Right.
And also, not just from the perspective of the deities that we're looking at, but also in the way that we do ceremonial magic. I'm sure everyone has seen the picture of MacGregor Mathers in his very stately leopard skin, and he's holding that enormous, it really looks rather awkward, doesn't it? That big lotus plant that he's holding onto.
Right.
Okay, so that is a literal lotus wand. Lotus, we all know.
What she's talking about, if you're not familiar with it, is there's a very, very famous photograph. Actually, there are two separate photographs, one of each of them.
Yes.
One of Mina Mathers and one of MacGregor Mathers. They were taken at the rites of Isis. It was a public ritual that they performed in Paris.
Yes. And the lotus wand that they were using, I want to talk about that because, you know, we always see these very long wands that the fellows are carrying, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, part of that does come from the lotus because the lotus grows from the mud at the bottom of the river or the pond. And actually in Egypt, the Nile is quite deep. And where the lotus grow, they have to rise up quite a distance before they get to the surface level of water. Mm-hmm. In fact, they have to climb almost 4 feet. So the lotus wand that he is using is actually a complete lotus that has been trimmed down at the bottom of the mud where it initiates, rather than at the top where the actual bloom occurs.
Fabulous.
Yes. Well, this implies something very different than simply plucking a lotus flower and then putting it in a bowl, as is done in the East. By having the entire wand, what you are doing is you are calling up the spinal column.
Right.
Because if you look very carefully on that, you will see that just like on a human being's spine, the lotus, as it grows in sections.
Let me get a lotus wand.
Yes.
Here is a traditional Golden Dawn style lotus wand.
And I bring up the actual ancient lotus wand. I bring that up because these rings that have been stylized in the Golden Dawn to show color.
Zodiac, actually. This is the zodiacal wand of the various second order wands.
It's nevertheless, the sections are an accurate mimic of the way the lotus actually grows. And the similarity of the spinal column to the lotus and then to the positions of the zodiac and the wand, all of these speak to the same concept. And that concept is rising up out of the mud, through the layers, to arrive at the top and bloom.
In the sun.
Yes.
Fabulous. Thank you, Leslie.
Yes, you're welcome.
So it seems that there's more of a shamanic influence on the Golden Dawn than one might first imagine. In the Egyptian side is particularly.
Yes, in the Egyptian side particularly. And even in the non-Egyptian side. And that is based primarily on the cadence of the words that are used. Mm-hmm. Because one of the things that makes rap music so entrancing is the fact that they're using language that is timed to have a certain beat. And when you get the beat, then the magic flows. You see, you can use the spoken voice very effectively as a musical device, like the percussion of a drum. This is why most magic is written in a poetic form. It's to increase that sense of musicality and of rhythm and flow.
Fantastic. In fact, the very word incantation
Yes.
comes from the verb to sing. Incantare, cantare.
Yes. All right. Well, I hope that answers your question, Robert.
Yeah. So we've got the influence, especially in the Egyptian, with the gods. Yeah, it does. You know, it's very interesting that you have these zoomorphic figures in Egypt,
Yes.
and you have these not zoomorphic, but rather actually animal deities in the Native American tradition.
Yes, they are so similar. And then put this again on top of the Indian pantheon. Look at Ganesha. He's an Indian head.
Right, exactly.
Right?
The Indian pantheon also has the zoomorphic side.
Yes, you find this over and over and over and over again. We even have it in Christianity, though in a very veiled form, when they speak of the Holy Ghost as being represented by a dove.
Very
It is a
interesting.
vestigial remnant of the ancient shamanic practice, just as the sun is. You see, the sun here, bounded by the cobras and the wings. Now, what is this showing you, right? Think about this from a zoomorphic standpoint. Why would you have feathers and snakes in the sun all together, right? Not just in Egypt, but also in the Aztec world. What is it? Can I leave them to chew on that? I don't really want
That's
to
a
answer
good
the
one.
question.
That's a good question to leave
That's a good homework
for
question.
this particular time. That's another time we'll answer the question.
Yes.
Have you ever wanted to gain real magical abilities so you can become the master of your destiny?
Do you wish you could get the ancient secret key for free so you can build the life of your dreams?
If you've wanted more out of life, to become all that you can be, physically, romantically, financially, spiritually, then you need to take action and get this right now.
That's right, and for free, but it won't be available for much longer.
So go right now to thescienceofmiracles.com and get started. Achieve the prosperous life you want for yourself. Gain ultimate life mastery.
Also find our daily ritual live stream.
That's right. Every day, starting at precisely sunrise Pacific time, you are invited to experience first-person shooter magic you'll find nowhere else on the web.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's not only unique in the way that it's presented, where you're live right in the middle of the action of the ritual, but what's even cooler about it is the ritual is written in the first-person perspective of Jesus Christ. This comes from a manuscript that archaeologists found in Egypt. And they say that it comes from very, very, very early Christians, but the Christians themselves, those early Christians, say it was actually written by Jesus and was the secret magic he taught his disciples.
Regardless of who wrote it or who practiced it, we have picked it up, dusted it off, and we are taking it for a test drive, and you are in the passenger seat for the whole thing.
You bet. And it's really quite amazing. You're going to check it out. I mean, until now, after it was discovered, this manuscript has been in the hands of scholars. This is the first time it's really in the hands of magicians and being brought out and brought back to life. So check us out every morning at sunrise.
Yesterday we released this brand new ebook, Was Jesus a Magician? Give you the basic background of the rediscovery of the lost books of Yahweh, how it happened, why they were repressed, why it is that the magic of Jesus was nearly destroyed and wiped from the face of the earth, and the miracle by which it survived. How we only have one precious manuscript of this ancient knowledge, and that's truly all there is left. Well, maybe in the Vatican they have it, but they're not about to give us that to fill in the little gaps that we found. So be sure to make sure you download this. You don't want to miss this. You can get it for free for now at thesecretsofjesus.com. Thesecretsofjesus.com.
Are you familiar with the Rosary Cruiser with what's his name? He's popular in the States. He's the president or the from the Golden Dawn. What's his name?
Oh.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
Have David Griffin.
I saw an email yesterday that he sent out about, there's a magical war going on.
Demons of the infernal realm. All of them.
There is really a magical work going on. There is a guy called David Griffin who is heading all these magicians.
David Griffin is S.L. McGregor Mather's present successor.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
I'm Golden Dawn Imperator David Griffin.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
Now, David Griffin.
You know, there's a magical war going on.
So there is really a magical work going on.
Alpha.
Omega.